Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will be having, my name is Whitney Porter. I am a scheduling coordinator here with NJ4S Union Hub. Today, we will be having a presentation entitled Girls with Goals with prevention consultant Alexa Brucal. A little bit about Alexa. She works as a prevention consultant here for the NJ4S Union Hub. She earned a Bachelor of Science in Public Health from Rutgers University and is a proud first generation graduate. During her undergraduate studies, she fell in love with and became passionate about the significance of enhancing individuals' and communities' health and well-being. As an intern for the Edward Blaustein School of Planning and Public Policy, she had the opportunity to help with research on New Jersey's wealth disparity issues and how it correlates to the state's health inequalities. She gets fulfillment in seeing her work have great results and looks forward to helping underprivileged families and communities. So without further ado, I will pass it over to Alexa for her presentation.
So as Whitney was saying, our topic for this week is girls with goals. So it's unlocking potential, empowering women to reach their goals. So in honor of Women's History Month, this presentation is dedicated to all people who identify as women, everyone who sees themselves in the mirror and realize the beauty, the struggles, the anxiety, the hurdles, and also the shining moments and ups and downs that come with womanhood. Everyone who recognizes the importance of fostering equity for young women to grow and blossom and reach whatever goals it's set for herself. Not only are her goals valuable to her, but all women around her. Our goals are empowered through us and also the women that we are around. We we also set the tone to the women that look up to us and also are um, looking. We set the tone for the women that are looking up to us. So now I want you guys to take some time to think of a woman figure in your life, whether it's someone in your family, a friend, someone you might work with, or even someone famous. And think of a reason why you look up to them and why they're so important to you. So for me, I personally look up to my mom because just this weekend I actually talked to her and she told me the whole life story, which I already thought I knew, but I found out a whole different story last weekend. So what she was telling me was that she was obviously born in the Philippines, and at age 18, she already traveled outside of the Philippines to Germany to work for her family, to provide for all her siblings and her parents who were both sick. So at such a young age, I couldn't even believe myself doing that. So now, as women, what goals might you guys have? Take some time to think of this yourself, for yourself. I'm sure that you guys came up with like a few goals or maybe just one main goal that you're reaching. So with that goal, so obviously we are girls, we all have goals, and I want to go over the gender biases that might come with womanhood and then why that might be happening. So while there's a belief that young girls are cute and precious and delicate, I also see girls as determined, strong, powerful, I might say also. So a woman's potential is greater than what we might know. So um some of the areas that are essential in empowering these women are strengthening her voice, nurturing self-worth, teaching boundary settings, encouraging critical thinking, and also exposure to female role models. So we're going to go into detail for each step. So strengthen her voice. So since the beginning of like human existence, girls have been told to be very ladylike or keep themselves very passive and that men were, I guess, in a way more superior. But we obviously have fought that stereotype. So there's actually a beauty for speaking up for things that women might believe in, women might advocate for, and girls shouldn't feel guilty to stand up for those things that they stand up for. We want to learn how to speak our mind, what we might want for ourselves. We also want girls to not get pushed around. So strengthening your voice, having that stand will avoid you from being pushed around. To empower a girl to become a strong woman, we also want her to feel feel that power through us. So we want to empower others, we want to give her words of wisdom, advice, and the quote I have on here is solicit her opinion. So regularly have her think of, what do you think about this? How might you feel about the situation? Did you like this or did you not like this? On top of that, we also want to nurture self-worth. So you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. So even when girls don't feel too confident, it's important to acknowledge them and validate their feelings. So instead of bringing down someone who might be saying, "Oh, I'm fat," many people might rush and tell them, "Oh no, that's wrong," and just ignore how serious um that little negative thought they have might affect them. So we want to take the time to really realize how much, especially our world today, affects the mental state, the emotional state of women, since there's a lot of pressure nowadays. So we want to take the time to nurture that self-worth, whether you're giving yourself these words of wisdom, talking about how you're good the way you are, you're perfect the way you are, or having a friend, a family, a mom, a sister to support you. Another thing that we want our women to know is the importance of having boundaries. So, um, similar to what we were saying earlier, standing your ground. So having that boundary and knowing your certain boundaries and what you might want is important to keep in mind, and also standing your ground when you want to say no. So obviously, we would say no in situations that might make us feel uncomfortable, that might make us feel like we're not worth enough, maybe make us feel upset or mad. So in certain situations like that, we either want to stay out of it or learn to say no and stand with it. Another thing we have is encourage critical thinking. So a quote I have for this is, a woman who thinks critically is not just challenging the world, rather she's actively shaping it. So you never want to underestimate the influence of like negative social media nowadays and the messages that come along with it. So what we could do is, since we know that a lot of young girls or even older girls now are all over social media, we want them to sit there and critically think that not everything they see, not everything they read, not everything they might watch is very accurate or um about them at all. So let's say that a young girl is on maybe TikTok and she's seeing videos of people her age using makeup already, or partaking in certain activities that she might not feel comfortable taking part of. So relating back to the slide before, it's similar to standing your ground and knowing those boundaries, because you don't want to put yourself in situations where you might not fully feel comfortable just because the people around you are doing it. So that comes with critical thinking, since you want to think about whether this is good for you, whether you're doing it for yourself or for someone else. So exposure to female role models. This could look like famous people, literally just a friend. It could be someone in your family. So you want to look up to these role models and why you might look up to them, and then why you might want to follow their footsteps. So some famous woman role models we have here are Malala. So she faced significant threats and criticism for her actions, but her unwavering belief in her cause allowed her to overcome that self-doubt that she might have and become a global voice. We also have Oprah Winfrey. So despite facing rejection early in her career, she persevered through self-doubt to become a media mogul, using her platform to empower others, and also openly discussing her struggles with self-esteem. We also have Maya Angelou, who battled self-doubt throughout her life, especially after a traumatic experience as a young woman, but her resilience and determination led to a more powerful and influential work of literature. So these are just few of the, I'm sure, plenty other woman role models that you might know of. And relating to what we did earlier, our first activity of thinking someone you might look up to, we want to keep them in mind and also realize why we might look up to them and why we might want to follow their footsteps. So why does women's empowerment matter? So it fosters equality. So when young women like us are empowered, we have the power to actually break down barriers and also contribute to a more inclusive and equal society. Having that empowerment also encourages growth and innovation. So empowered women bring new perspectives and ideas to various fields, driving progress. We also can build confidence. So, with confidence, it's actually key to helping women believe in their abilities and also navigate the challenges that they may be going through. And also, it could create opportunities for success. And then it also promotes leadership. So, confidence enables young women to take on leadership roles, make impactful decisions, and also advocate for themselves and others. So, understanding self confidence and success. So it's not about perfection. So confidence isn't about being, let's say, flawless, being perfect. It's about trusting yourself even with imperfections. So, or in other words, having that belief in your own abilities, your own judgments, and your own potential. It's also not always about feeling ready. So confidence grows through, let's say, actions, learning, experiences, and not waiting for that perfect moment. So it's not about feeling ready, rather, the time will come. And it's also normal to feel uncertain. So with that, confidence comes with experience, like I said earlier, and also stepping outside of your comfort zone. So confidence building. So some tips to build that self-confidence. We have positive self-talk and affirmation. So we want you to encourage, motivate, and also support yourself and also the women around you. What this does is it helps replace those negative thoughts that we might have, whether it's about us, about others. It also helps replace those self-doubt thoughts. We want to also celebrate small wins and progress. So just take the time to recognize your achievements, no matter how small they are or how personal they are. You want to take the time to reward yourself for every step of the way, for every progress and achievement that you're making. And also creating that support network. So building a community of like-minded supportive peers to help each other grow by offering that guidance and support. So now, just another time to reflect. I want you to take your time to um, think of three of your most recent successes and just think of most recent or your biggest successes and just sit there and think of how far along you've come or what you did to get there. So I personally think that taking the time to reflect is important. It's an important part of your day. Honestly, we want to include that in our like daily schedule, even if it takes only like 2 minutes, because we've with the busy schedule, we tend to forget about taking the time to just sit there and realize how much you're doing for yourself, how much you're accomplishing. So just taking that time to just really sit there and realize how much you're doing, how much your progress you've made. It actually it's actually beneficial to us since it lets us realize that we are doing something good. We are doing something productive. So, quote I have here is every woman's success should be an inspiration to another. We're strongest when we cheer each other on. So, some of our successes might look the same or different from other people. So, if we have someone that we know, a friend, a family member, that has a certain success that we also might want to reach for, we want to use that as inspiration, similar to why we look up to certain women, certain role models.
Thank you so much, Alexa, for that presentation. It was definitely very inspiring and informative. If you would like, uh, no, we're sleeping backward. Um, So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today for this webinar presentation, Girls with Goals. If you would like to keep up with what NJ4S Union is doing, you can follow us on social media at NJ, the number 4S Union. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We upload these webinars on the Prevention Links YouTube channel, So you can check out past presentations that we have done as well. If you are interested in NJ4S Union Hub services, you can always email us at NJ, the number 4S, union@preventionlinks.org. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us, and have a great day.